Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Crystal Cruz.
And I'm Tatum Gwynn. As you have seen us report in recent weeks, more and more people are catching COVID-19. The virus, it continues to put a massive strain on the economy.
Well, tonight we are here to tell you how you can support local businesses and at the same time keep yourself as safe and healthy as possible. Let's start with what you need to know. It's hard to keep up with all the changes in the way businesses are allowed to operate. So let's review what we know. Governor Greg Abbott issued several executive orders detailing the ongoing plan to open businesses in Texas. Now, businesses must follow standard health protocols during the pandemic. Here's what that means. Restaurants can only have 50% capacity. Groups must maintain at least 6 feet of distance from all other groups at all times, including while waiting to be seated. Tables should be at least 6 feet apart from any part of another table. A booth may be next to another booth as long as a partition is considered and constructed between the booths. Also, restaurants cannot have tables of more than 10 people. Each customer is to have a disposable menu. For gyms, there should be space between the workout equipment. That's at least 6 feet of separation between customers. Any regularly touched surfaces like doorknobs, chairs, showers, and locker room facilities should be frequently cleaned and disinfected. And for those of you who are retailers, you're encouraged to consider dedicating a certain period of time each day for only at-risk customers, or make deliveries to cars to cut down the need for at-risk customers to go into the store. Contactless payment is encouraged. If it's not available, contact should be minimized.
About the last couple of weeks, our business has been down quite a bit, about a little over 50%. Before that, before they started reporting all the cases and everything, we're right around 30% down. So that wasn't too bad, you know. And so right now we're trying to think outside the box. We're trying to, we're trying to promote and get as many people in our restaurant as we possibly can.
Learning to adapt in this new normal, the Barn Door restaurant in Odessa, like many businesses, is getting hit where it hurts the most, the wallet. So as you just heard, they are getting creative and keeping their doors open. They turned their stagecoach room, which was a meeting room, into a general store. They're selling staples like milk, bread, cheese, flour, and sugar, along with bacon and other meats. They even have toilet paper, hand sanitizer, and cleaning supplies. Another way they've adapted, putting in a drive-through window at the restaurant where you can call in and pick up menu items or even stuff from their general store, something that they've never had before.
And there was a little lady that came in and she says, I just want to get some bread and cheese. And she had her mask on. I just want to get some bread and cheese. And I'm like, okay, ma'am. I said, well, let me show you where our general store is at. And she's like, oh, no, I don't want to come in. And so I'm like, okay, I'm so sorry. I totally understand. You know, I says, well, if you would like to, you can drive around and go pick it up at our pickup window. And she was astonished that we had a pickup window at the Barn Door. Cases have popped up.
As for their restaurant, they're taking every precaution, wearing masks, social distancing, disinfecting, basically doing everything they can to make you feel comfortable.
And just letting people know that, you know, yes, they need to be careful, cautious, and they do that here. We social distance here at the Barn Door. We're trying to, but trust me, we do not want any more cases coming up, because when those cases rise, then our customer don't. They stay home.
Your support means everything to local businesses right now. It not only helps them stay afloat, but helps keep jobs here. And with their PPE money running out, it is definitely tight.
Our employees aren't working as many hours right now, you know, because all that PPP money is gone. And so we really need customers to walk in our restaurant so we can keep our staff busy. We don't want to have to lay off any more staff or cut their hours back.
And here's another thing to think about. Just like the Barn Door, our local businesses support our community. They give to charities, support local sports, little league teams, and even help with educational programs.
That's right. That's why supporting them is so important. Here's another way that you can do that. You know, Governor Abbott, he issued a statewide mandate 2 weeks ago requiring all Texans to wear a face mask in public places. But here's the catch. It's up to each county whether or not they're going to enforce it. Face masks are required in every Texas county that has at least 20 cases of the virus. The governor issued that mandate because he doesn't want to shut down businesses again. So he decided to require everyone to wear a mask instead. And he's hoping that this will reduce the rising numbers of COVID-19.
We are now at a point where the virus is spreading so fast, there is little margin for error. If we want to avoid lockdowns, if we want to protect those we care about, we need all Texans to join this effort. We have slowed the spread before. Working together, we will do it again.
That's the goal. Now remember, if you are caught not wearing a mask in a public place, you're not going to go to jail, but you could pay a fine. Again, Governor Abbott left it up to cities and counties to enforce the order. By the way, no citations have been issued in neither Midland nor Odessa. Many of our local entities are leading by example, urging people who live and work in our communities to wear a mask in public. The Odessa Chamber of Commerce is one of them. Here's why they choose to wear a mask in public.
We want our economy to get back to as normal as it can be. And if that means wearing a mask so that you're protecting the people around you, if that's what we need to do, then let's do it. Let's just try to do everything we can to not have to go back to April when we had to completely shut down.
And this is cool. The Odessa Chamber, they're working to ensure that businesses that need face masks for employees and customers get them. Renee Earls, she's the president of the chamber. She says that they are in the process of getting a shipment of 15,000 masks to Odessa in the coming weeks. And that's not the only type of support that they are giving the community. After the break, hear more of our conversation with the Odessa Chamber of Commerce. Now, while masks are part of our new normal, we thought, why not have fun with it? Here's Braden wearing his shark mask, so cute. We want to see your mask. Send us a photo of you wearing it, and you just might see yourself like Braden, featured in one of our newscasts or on the website. All you have to do is text us that photo at 567-9991. We'll be back after.
The focus of tonight's special is to show you how our community continues to rally around local businesses and how you can feel safe while supporting our local shops.
A big resource to businesses in Odessa is the Chamber of Commerce. I had the chance to speak to their president about what resources are available.
How has your job changed as we've gone on through the pandemic?
Well, I think immediately we sprung into action to try to help our businesses who are members of the Odessa Chamber. This was new for all of us, and it really obviously caught us all off guard. And I don't know that we even realized how impactful COVID was going to be. But as the weeks went on, you know, we were all learning together through this. So we really became, and as we always have been, you know, a value to our members through information. We really tried to work with our chamber members to let them know what was out there. Most of our members are small businesses. You know, they may not have an HR department. They may not have a marketing department. So we try to be that for them. Another thing is we were keeping up with all of the new rules and regulations that were coming out, and they were changing daily. So we were, because we're a chamber, we're a member of the U.S. Chamber, we got a lot of information that we could then pass on to our members. Very valuable information about how they could apply for different loans and what the policies were on that and where they could go locally to different banks to utilize that information. So again, we just try to be a resource for the businesses here in Odessa.
Let's talk a minute about those resources. You know, what is available? I know that y'all have been very forward thinking and trying to get out in front of this as much as you can to help support the chamber members. But what about those other businesses that may not be right there in the back or have the chamber in their back pocket?
Sure. I mean, we have 800 members here at the chamber, but during this time, it was kind of like we are helping everyone, anyone who needed help. Our chamber also is made up of the Economic Development Department through the city of Odessa. We contract with them for all businesses, not just chamber members. We're still to this day looking at ways to come up with some funding through small business loans to help those businesses. You know, we're in about month 3 or 4 of this, and we're seeing businesses that are either never reopened or looking very closely at closing. And we're just trying to do everything we can to help those businesses and try to get them over the hump. You know, some of these businesses have said, hey, I had enough income to get me through 3 or 4 months, and now here we are. And so the next few months are crucial. We're looking at, you know, again, continued information. We can't give out enough information on how to help small businesses. And then also encouraging our own residents to visit these local businesses. You know, we can be the make or break for these businesses. And if you spend, you know, as little as 50 cents in a local business, that just duplicates many times over. And I don't think people realize how important it is to spend your money locally.
Let's talk about that for a second. What is the message that y'all have been giving the people that live in the community? They live here, work here, eat here. What is the message to them to say, you know what, here are some safe ways that you can go about supporting our local businesses?
Well, just for instance, you know, your groceries. I mean, how many of us a year ago were having our groceries delivered to our house or even drive up curb service? So you don't ever have to go into the grocery store to get what you need. With food, you know, there are so many different delivery services right now. If you don't want to go to the restaurant and dine in, you can still support those restaurants by either taking it to go or having it delivered literally at your porch. You never even have to have contact with that delivery person. You can find it on websites for the local restaurants. You can call them. There are apps that you can check out to get all of that delivered. And then, you know, again, even the larger businesses who are here, who are businesses that are worldwide, they have many policies in place. They want to keep the customer safe. They want to keep the employees safe. So there are many businesses who are trying to take every precaution possible to stay open and to keep the customers and the employees safe.
Absolutely. Let's talk a second about By the Basin. Talk to me about that initiative.
So By the Basin is a program that the chambers, both Odessa and Midland, started back in the early 90s. And the whole purpose of that was really to create more sales tax. At that time, you could not even order anything online. Online shopping was something that we never thought would, you know, become a thing. Well, here we are. It's COVID. We need a shot in the arm for the economy. And we want to remind people again how important it is to buy the basin. Spend your money locally. You know, these are businesses that support our schools. They support our different events that are happening with nonprofits. They keep our citizens employed. And we just want to remind people, rather than go to your computer and order something, you know, from Amazon, think about where you can go locally to get that. You can call them on the phone. You can check out their website, or even, you know, through social media. On Facebook, you can order things. You know, you can drive up to that store and get them to bring it out to you. And right now with shipping, you know, things are taking so much longer to get here. It's even quicker to go to your local store and get something and have it there. And you're saving someone's job. You're reinvesting that sales tax back into our governmental entities where they can, you know, hire healthcare workers and police and fire. You know, that money, when you buy the basin, the money literally does stay right here and go back into our communities.
Absolutely. Well, and that's needed now more than ever. You know, we hear about some of our local businesses that have, you know, faced just immense challenge and are having a hard time, quite frankly, staying afloat. So how important is it, you know, now for people to really start investing back into our community, spend your dollars here?
Absolutely. You know, we just got off a tremendous growth in our economies in the last 4 to 5 years. You know, just looking over the past decade, even when the last census was done, our numbers are really through the roof. We saw housing issues. You know, you couldn't go into a restaurant without having to wait. None of us ever thought we would be in the situation that we are here today. Things are different, and we need to remember to go back to the basics. Shop local, support our local businesses, our restaurants, where your neighbor is working. Who knows? You could be saving someone's job just by spending a little bit of money. You know, the Perryman group did a study for us, and it shows if you spend as little as 49 cents with a local business, you're saving a job, you're creating a job. So I just encourage people to remember, support those who support you. Remember when we're out looking to get donations for a nonprofit event, or we have our kids in, an athletic program, when we go to a business and say, hey, can you donate towards my son's baseball team? Remember that, because those national businesses that are away from here, that we're ordering things in, they're not doing that. That we want to keep our money here, keep it in the basin, keep people employed, so that our community can survive this COVID and economic downturn, and not only survive, but we can thrive. That's what West Texans do. We have a lot of grit. We get through this. We've seen busts before, but right now this one's a little bit different. We just encourage people to spend your money locally. Keep the money here by the basin, and as the slogan says, the buck stays here.
And it doesn't stop there. The Midland Chamber, too, has worked to get creative to ensure that everyone has the resources they need to push through the pandemic. We'll have that conversation coming up here in a few minutes.
Switching gears to stay ahead, that's what several businesses are facing. Carpet Tech went from cleaning spots and stains to disinfecting for the virus in a heartbeat. They tell us they were already prepared.
Thankfully, we were very proactive. We saw this coming and knew that we were going to have to stay ahead of the game. So before it got to the level that we're seeing now, we went ahead and got with all of our suppliers and said we need everything that we have so that we could stay on top of it.
Carpet Tech has always offered disinfectant services. In fact, we're told the staff has been trained on how to do it, but they are doing a whole lot more of it now. But the company is still having to adapt. They're taking extra steps to protect customers and their workers, like this. When their workers arrive, they're covered head to toe in personal protective equipment, masks, goggles, and a full protective suit. Carpet Tech says it's all about protecting the customer and their employees. Now, once they're done disinfecting, that PPE gear is disposed of. And while they're still cleaning carpets, floors, and upholstery, things have flip-flopped.
Now disinfecting is at a much higher level than what we normally do. We generally disinfect, I would say, maybe 500,000 square feet in a few months. And in the last few months, we've disinfected over 2 million square feet.
Carpet Tech tells us they also have to access the place you need to disinfect, how many people come in and out, the size of it, and they need to know everything that's touched. They say they use a fine mist to disinfect everything from walls to phones, even plants. They tell us it's safe to use on everything. No one can come in for a solid 2 hours after they've disinfected to make sure everything is sanitized. Many of us wear a mask in public, but should we also wear gloves? We'll have that question answered in your Verify next. But first, how creative is this? That's great. This is Justin, who decided to match his beard with a Wookiee mask. It's 2020 and face masks are the new normal. So we want to see yours. Send us your picture of you wearing it, and you just might see yourself featured on one of our newscasts or website. Just text us at 567-9991. I'd give you the Wookiee growl, but I'm not that good at it.
Perhaps one of the most essential businesses during this time of COVID are our grocery stores. I mean, talk about a pivot. All have stayed open and made adjustments to keep you and their employees safe. Here's how 2 local stores have adjusted their business model with you in mind.
Representatives from our local grocery stores like United Supermarkets and H-E-B say they've been implementing safety protocol for COVID-19 since it all started in March.
Keeping you safe has been this essential service's top priority, and keeping yourself safe upon entering has been your top priority. At H-E-B, they've even designated an employee to this job since the pandemic started.
So as soon as COVID hit, we quickly enacted a person titled as a COVID action manager. So they are in charge of all things COVID. They handle all the cleaning and sanitation in our stores. They really have been the point person because everything has been changing so quickly.
For United Supermarkets, this has been the duty of an existing employee.
The assistant store director in all of our stores is kind of the safety champion, even before COVID-19.
Both local grocery stores are doing their part.
We can put as many signs as we want, but the more that our customers partake in helping us maintain social distancing, the better.
United Supermarkets even closed off their water fountains and blood pressure machines because these places are so commonly touched, and cleaning would be much harder to regulate. In both stores, frequently touched places like pin pads, dairy fridge handles, and dining areas are cleaned thoroughly and regularly. These stores want to thank you too for doing your part by socially distancing, using their hand sanitizers, and wearing your mask despite this crazy heat. The takeaway from both locations: don't let up. Keep taking these extra steps and we will all make it through together. In Midland and Odessa, I'm Rachel Ripp for NewsWest 9.
Rachel, thank you. Both stores, they say that they will be continuing to use these COVID-19 precautions for as long as they need to. As long as their guests are concerned about the virus, they too will be concerned. Now, going to the grocery store, we've seen many of you wearing a mask, but some also wearing gloves. Is that something that we should also be doing when we leave home? Crystal Cruz verifies what experts are recommending.
To wear gloves or not, do they really protect you when you're out running errands? Gloves are usually worn with face masks when going out for extra protection. But Facebook posts are raising questions about the effectiveness of gloves, saying they're a big source of contamination. Let's verify, is it actually safer to wear gloves when you're out running errands? Our top sources are the CDC, the Cleveland Clinic, and the American Journal of Infection Control. The CDC says the general public shouldn't wear gloves when running errands. Instead, wear a mask, socially distance, and wash your hands. The Cleveland Clinic says gloves are not necessarily bad, but factors like having a hole in them, putting them on, or taking them off incorrectly, and the false sense of security add up to a lot more trouble than they're worth. That's why if you're still going to wear gloves, following proper procedure is most important, like taking them off the right way.
You want to use, your dirty finger and the dirty glove without touching your clean hand for the most part. And then we have clean finger, hasn't touched any surface that's dirty. Underneath, where the clean side of the glove. And that goes into the trash.
Even healthcare professionals who use gloves the most don't always remove them in the most effective manner. A 2019 study in the American Journal of Infection Control shows 37% of healthcare workers still contaminated themselves after using their typical glove-removing techniques. So we can verify no, it's not safer to wear gloves when you're out running errands. Research and guidance from health experts say they are a big point of cross-contamination because most people wear them too long or fail to take them off properly. You're better off washing your hands and maintaining safe practices. With your Verify, I'm Crystal Cruz.
Everyone is having to adapt to life during the pandemic. Next, we'll hear from one local medical clinic on how they are coping to constant change. And check out these masks. We want to see you wearing yours. This adorable couple rocking theirs. That's Jennifer and Clay Hagler. Here at NewsWest 9, we're advocating for our community to wear a mask when you go out in public. And we want to see yours. Send us a photo of you wearing a mask, and you just might see yourself featured in one of our newscasts or on our website. All you have to do is text us 567-9991.
Everyone is having to make changes and sacrifices during this pandemic. That's especially true of hospitals, doctors' offices, urgent cares, and emergency care clinics. Fast ER in Midland is no exception. Medical Director Dr. Fidel Ojeda says the biggest challenge for them has been keeping their staff healthy. especially because they're dealing with patients sick and COVID on a daily basis, and having to wear protective gear while they tend to patients who don't have the virus.
Those things have been challenging, but by and far, man, our staff is wonderful. They're great about knowing how to deal with these patients, using the proper rooms for those ill patients. I think as my staff, they're doing a great job. I think Midland and Odessa in general, the whole population is doing good.
Dr. Ojeda says we have definitely seen the second wave of COVID-19 make its way through Midland and Odessa. We asked him, what's it going to take until we see the end of this virus? Here's his response.
I don't think we're going to see the end of this virus. I think this is a virus that's going to be with us for quite some time. It's a virus. We never get rid of viruses. Viruses are present around us at all times. Flu never goes away.
FastER is equipped to do COVID testing, the rapid test, swab, and also antibody testing. Testing is available by appointment only. Dr. Ojeda says, like the old adage, an ounce of prevention goes a long way. The message of social distancing from top health experts has stayed consistent, along with wearing a mask and washing your hands. But is social distancing actually effective? NewsWest 9's Jolena Okazaki verifies.
This is the Barbosa family. They recently had a family gathering, and one member, Ron, unknowingly infected all 18 of his relatives. But here's the thing, he wasn't even at the party. He actually played golf with a few family members before, but he had no idea that he had COVID-19. The family members who got infected included 2 children, 2 grandparents, a cancer patient, and the elderly parents. Now, Ron's dad was put on a ventilator, but sadly he lost his life on July 1st. So why am I telling you this story? Well, the Barbosas thought that because they were family members that they didn't have to social distance. That leads us to our question today. Is social distancing effective? Well, our sources say yes, and here's why. Well, first, the CDC agrees with this claim. They used a mathematical model and looked at Washington State over a 6-week period. And they saw social distancing by staying 6 feet away from others and also staying at home reduced some infections. The results showed when more people were required to stay at home in the early stages of the pandemic, it actually helped flatten the curve. And while people were social distancing at 6 feet and staying at home, most cases, hospitalizations, even deaths declined. But once they saw the requirements to stay at home were lifted, then the number of cases went back up. Meanwhile, a team of engineers and scientists at Cornell and Rochester University say social distancing is also effective. They did an analysis on all 50 states, and they said that it helps slow the spread of the virus, but it didn't help reduce the number of infections in a day. The model suggests social distancing can provide time for hospitals to increase their capacity. So we can confirm that yes, social distancing is effective. It's very helpful in a number of ways. And here's what both groups agree on. They say that social distancing on top of the orders, testing, and contact tracing, that could lower the risk of transmission. The World Health Organization also agreeing, saying that the large gatherings, staying at home is the right thing for you to do. Now, more studies and more research is being done, but Ron Barbosa says to just follow his advice, and that's to mask up and keep your distance. For your Verify, I'm Jolena Okazaki.
Our very own Tatum Gwynn had the opportunity to interview with the Midland Chamber of Commerce. Their message to you on how you can support local businesses safely coming up. But first, take a look at this. This is Jessica Escobedo rocking her mask. Hey, I like it. You can see it's an 80s music icon. Look at that, Prince. Many of you are getting very unique masks, and we love it. It's 2020. Face masks are the new normal. Send us a picture of you wearing it, and you might just see yourself featured on one of our newscasts or our website. Just text us your photo to 567-9991. Purple Rain, baby. The Odessa Chamber has gotten creative on how they're supporting businesses in their community. Same story in Midland. The chamber there is proving to be a resource to people in and out of work. Here's their conversation with Tatum Gwynn.
Okay, now tell me what the chamber is doing to help support businesses during this time.
Well, we've
tried to do a number of different things, and of course, we're continuing to have to be flexible and pivoting where we can. We first started with a website housed on the chamber site, but it's really kind of a standalone system called PermianStrong.com. And within that website, what we did is develop several different tabs that people could look at, where there was the latest information from the Office of the Governor and the latest directives from CDC and the World Health Organization and local authorities like Midland Memorial and those kinds of things. And we also pulled information regarding schools from the Texas Education Agency, anything from our local school districts, anything that we could get our hands on, we were trying to compile into one place. And then the other component of that was a local buyer's guide of any sort of adaptations for businesses, whether someone was doing curbside or delivery, if they had modified hours, if they were limiting people. Once we had restaurants at 25% capacity and then 50 and 75, and of course now we've retreated a bit on that. And now those pages are, with the buyer's guide portion, is actually hidden. It's redirecting somewhere else to a different initiative that we moved forward. As more businesses were able to open, we felt like that wasn't quite as necessary.
Talk about the By the Basin initiative. You know, this is really something that's caught on, and it's encouraging people, especially now more than ever, spend your dollars here.
Yes. And that's actually where we've shifted that buyer's guide focus, is to this By the Basin. So we're trying to say, before you click, pick up your phone or check out a website here and say, hey, can I get this locally? Because again, we just want to keep those local businesses thriving. We want to support them, especially during this time, more than ever. And quite frankly, sometimes it's more convenient. I can call a store, have it ready, go pick it up curbside. They'll bring it out to my car, and I can have it that same day.
While y'all are encouraging people to spend their dollars here, y'all are working on this cool program that will help give people peace of mind as they do go out and shop local. Talk to me about this new partnership that y'all are working on.
We were approached a couple of weeks ago by a business that is headquartered here in Midland, and that's another really exciting component for us, is that they are headquartered here. But it's a company called General Genomics, and one of the firms that we're looking at and hoping to roll out, not just to our chamber members, but to the business community as a whole, is called Shield Score. And it's basically a standard bearer for businesses who conduct an assessment online to say, here are the safety protocols that we've enacted, here's what we're doing. And based on that assessment of their protocols, they get this Shield score or rating that they can then share on all of their social pages, on their website. And really, it's designed to build consumer confidence, to create a standard, a uniform way of saying, this place is doing all the things that they need to do to make me as a consumer feel comfortable going into their place of business, knowing that they are taking safety very seriously, that they're doing everything they can to keep their workers as well as the customers safe. And so we're trying to find that solution, and we're hoping that this local company is going to be that solution where we can help our local business communities define that standard and use that to promote their safety protocols.
I love that. And, forward thinking really has kind of been the name of the game, especially now that this does not seem to be a short play. We're kind of in this for the long term. When you think of that, what resources are available to local businesses? Say they're not necessarily a chamber member, but the chamber has really worked to put resources out there and show people that there is help to help you stay afloat during this time, especially right now.
There is. Like I said, when we had the Permian Strong Buyer's Guide, we gave our members, of course, priority because we are a nonprofit membership association. And so we gave them the priority listings, but we were listing even non-members at that time. We really felt like we're all going to get through this together, or we're all going to meal together, and that's just not an option for the basin. And so we felt it was really important to include and reach out to those businesses, whether they were members or not. We're just continuing to try and find any resources we can and post those so that businesses can go to that one website, find all the information that's available to them, and those resources that they need right now. So I think it really is just about continuing to explore those options and not just saying, we've got this is good enough, because good enough isn't good enough. It doesn't work that way anymore. We have to continue to grow. We have to continue to explore and see how can we improve what we're doing, how can we do it better, how can we do it faster, and how can we meet the needs of our business community.
Absolutely. Well, people are really looking to our local entities like the chamber to see, okay, how do we, what's our next step? What's going to be, our next move? This pandemic's not going anywhere, and it seems anytime soon. What would your message be to people who are, they want to get out, they want to support our community, but, they're perhaps, afraid or thinking twice about leaving home and going out? What would you tell those people?
I think we have to be very respectful of everyone's personal comfort level. I'm really hoping that as we continue to move forward, I'm hoping that if the shield score is the right solution, if we find another solution, again, I'm excited about that one because it is Midland based, it's Midland headquartered, and I think that's just incredibly exciting to see that kind of forethought coming out of our area. But we're going to continue to find those solutions to help create that consumer confidence again, to help people feel more comfortable. As I've had to be out and go to the grocery store, things like, I'm noticing more people are wearing the masks. And I think just as we continue to navigate this and find ways to make each other feel more comfortable, respect each other's space, respect each other's comfort levels, I know that we'll continue to find our way through this. And again, everything about this is so new and foreign to all of us that as we navigate it, I know we're going to have some mistakes, we're going to have some missteps, but I think if we just continue to treat each other the way Midland is known for, that West Texas spirit of kindness and gratitude and graciousness that has just always been part of our culture, if we continue to let that lead us, I think that will put us in really good stead as we move forward.
Another resource for businesses, the Midland Development Corporation. They are redirecting $1 billion of its marketing budget and putting it back into our economy. Local businesses can apply for up to $25,000 forgivable loans through the Development Corporation Small Business Assistance Program.
It's kind of a local version of the PPP program. Wanted to give and really impact some of these small mom and pop businesses in town and hopefully give them the ability to kind of stay liquid and stay viable in these very difficult times.
Executive Director of the Development Corporation, John Treschetti, says while bringing in new businesses is still a priority, many of the larger companies are holding off on expanding, so they've shifted focus to workforce development. A partnership with Midland College is in the works to give people in between jobs more training. Now, when you go to your favorite buffet, there are new changes to expect. What you need to know before you try serving yourself. And let's take a look at this. How adorable. This is Tegan. All thumbs up with her mask on. Here at NewsWest 9, we're advocating for our community to wear a mask whenever you go out in public. We want to see yours. Send us a picture if you're wearing it, and you might just see yourself featured on one of our newscasts or our website. All you have to do is text us at 567-9991. Tegan, you look great.
As restaurants open, many of us are testing the waters to see if we want to head back out and grab a bite to eat. Another hurdle that restaurants now have to consider. The FDA is recommending discontinuing self-serving restaurants like buffets or salad bars until COVID-19 measures are lifted. A few of our buffets have made changes to ensure that your plate is full and the risk of catching anything is low.
Hello, welcome to Golden Corral.
We all know our local restaurants have gone through change. But how about restaurants and food establishments whose whole serving style reversed? That's right, I'm talking about self-service, like at buffets and salad bars. That's what Golden Corral is founded on, and they've made a complete 180.
At this buffet-style restaurant, now as opposed to you serving yourself, the employees serve you. I'll take some ham, please.
It's so important for us to try and give them that customer service with each server at the buffet so that it doesn't get to the point to where there's 20 people up there.
Their new standard is this.
So they'll come up with a plate and they'll point out what they want, and it's still an unlimited buffet. If they want a whole plate of mac and cheese, hey, we got a whole plate of mac and cheese for them.
But this change in service style comes with a price.
What it comes down to is making sure we're controlling our costs as much as possible, especially when it comes to food.
At other places like Cattle Baron, they plan on pre-serving guests either a Caesar or dinner salad when they open, as opposed to their self-serve salad bar. And plans for a modified salad bar with a paper order form are in the works for sometime in the following week. At Wall Street, they've completely done away with their Sunday salad bar, one of their main draws. But servers are bringing fruit and salads to tables upon request. And after many guest requests, Market Street brought back their salad bars for a trial period at the end of June. But there are now signs above the bar asking customers to grab a piece of protective plastic before using the tongs. Reporting in Midland and Odessa, I'm Rachel Ripp for NewsWest 9.
Rachel, thank you. They say cash is king, but there's a rumor about businesses not accepting cash payments because of safety concerns during the pandemic. Is that true? Crystal Cruz went to verify.
Today we're talking about cash. Our infectious disease expert, Dr. Linda Navda, tells us it's highly unlikely that we'll get the virus from money, although it's possible. And that's why some businesses have started going completely cashless. That's prompted some outrage on social media. This person wrote, quote, "Cash is legal tender, and if we cave into this rubbish, we cave into the cashless society." So let's verify. Are businesses allowed to ban cash? First, we turn to Section 31 of the U.S. Code entitled Legal Tender, which reads in part, United States coins and currency are legal tender for all debts, public charges, taxes, and dues. We then turn to the Federal Reserve. On their website, they say that this statute just offers up money as valid and legal offer of payment for debts when tendered to a creditor, but that there is, quote, no federal statute mandating that a private business, a person, or an organization must accept currency. So the headline is this. On the federal level, there's no law stopping a business from banning cash. But at the state and local level, there are some rules. Places like Massachusetts, New Jersey, and Connecticut have laws saying businesses have to accept cash. That's the same in cities like Philadelphia and New York City. So we can verify, yes, businesses are allowed to decline cash payments unless those businesses are in a state or a city that specifically bans the policy. We should mention on the federal level there is a bill in the Senate which would prohibit businesses from banning cash, but at this point that bill is not passed. With your Verify, I'm Crystal Cruz.
Before we go to break, check out this family rocking all of their masks. That's the Torres family. Thank you for wearing a mask, Torreses. We want to see you in your mask. Send us a photo of you wearing yours, and you just might see yourself on one of our newscasts or even on our website. Text your photos to us, 567-9991.
Well, that's all the time we have in our special report. Thanks for tuning in with us. Remember, continue to support our local businesses and our community, and of course, wear your mask.
Absolutely, and also remember to social distance. By doing these small things together,
yes,
our economy will continue to open back up. Thanks again.